Welcome everyone to another entry of my director's diary. This is week 2, day 5. We are, steadily moving along. We finished blocking our play, the skeleton blocking. For those of you that might remember, I'd love to have like a skeleton blocking by week 2, which means that it's very much not the finished product, but it allows us to have a choreography, so to speak, of where they need to be. And then, the following week, in week 3, we start to cement a few things. So we had a really kind of impactful week, final day of week 2, where we had costume fittings that was slotted in. You may remember I mentioned this on day 4. Surprise costume fittings to, due to limited resources. Unfortunately, we had an actor who missed that costume fitting for an invalid reason, or was late for it for an invalid reason. And how do you kind of meet that challenge? Do you kind of go and find them and in front of everyone kind of chastise them? Or do you wait until the end of the day once they've done the work? Because you don't want to create a sense of tension in the room. So what I did was I waited till the end of the day, right? So they do their work, they came in, they apologized, whatever. I still wasn't pleased with them being missing their costume fitting and for invalid reason. So I waited till the end of the day. But in the meantime, we worked, we made sure we were steady, and we plotted along, and we again were met with new challenges of actors starting to feel a bit worried and nervous about their blocking, and me reminding them that actually this isn't the finished product. We like I said, we had an actor who just stepped in for someone, so had their kind of worries and anxiety around what they were doing. But again, the idea is to kind of remind them that what they're doing is great, and not to be too kind of bogged down on getting it perfect. We then also had to negotiate um, other kind of outside challenges, photo shoot, organizing interviews and that kind of thing. So my mind was all over the place, but I think I still managed to kind of hold it down. And that's the idea sometimes. You may need to find a way to balance these conversations that are being had with different creatives. So we finished blocking some, really good highlights is finding just a sense of meaning on certain scenes, and also seeing the potential as well in these scenes. So that allowed me to be confident in that. So end of the day, we finished. I went up to the actor who was late, or I said goodbye and well done to everyone. I tried to kind of ask them how their week was, how they think it went. Of course, there will be conversations around worries and concerns, and that is inevitable. And of course, I was fielding conversations around, my vision and that kind of thing. But after all that was done, went and I asked for the stage manager and this actor for us to go outside. An error, I think what I should have done is maybe made it less like they're about to be told off, but more like, oh, I just need to talk about next week. Let me just talk about next week. And that would have been less worry that the other actors would have been like, oh, they're in trouble, they're in trouble. So I went and spoke to them. Before I came in guns blazing, I asked them, you know, to explain the situation, because what you don't want to do is go in and say, hey, why did this happen? And they tell you some big story that, was maybe more valid than I thought it was. So they explained to me, and I just thought that was not good enough. So I let them know the significance of timekeeping and another reminder. And, I could feel myself kind of feeling anger, right? The most important thing is you don't want to be an angry director, right? Even though the situation seems to call for that, that you're justified. In the long term, it doesn't really work. So it's about kind of letting them know that what they did was not good, and therefore they shouldn't repeat that again. So hopefully moving forward, we're going to find that there's a change in pattern, and they acknowledge that they maybe need to work on their professional practice. So that's something they acknowledged. So we worked on that, and we went on and worked on the photo shoot. And this is the moment where actually we directors need to find out what is our role in some of these marketing kind of conversations? Are we there to as the sign off, or are we just given this as a courtesy? Because I found myself feeling redundant actually in certain the kind of re-photo shoot. To an extent where I said, actually, maybe I just need to go. But I had a conversation with a producer and I wanted them to know that it's I feel like there needs to be better communication around who is the lead on these photos, right? Who does the final sign off? Because if I say this and then this gets chosen, it's like, then what was the point of asking me, right? So there was a conversation around that, and I'm glad I got to say it. So do speak up your mind and don't hold anything in. And hopefully, your creative process going down the line will be the smoother for it. Anyway, week two has come to an end. I look forward to talking more about week three, where we start to revisit some scenes and some more incredible things start happening. So keep directing. See you next time.